Hey gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, and what can I say? The left is getting desperate. I mean, very desperate. If you thought the weaponized legalism constituting these 4 sham indictments against President Trump was bad enough, now legal scholars are joining in on the chorus, as it were. They're piling on, doing their very best to try to convince you that President Trump is actually, right now as we speak, constitutionally barred from running for the presidency. Now, sadly, this argument is coming from 2 constitutional scholars at the Federalist Society, which is Leonard Leo's group, that's considered, ironically, to be the very backbone of the conservative renewal that's been going on in the legal sphere. But for some reason, 2 of them, J. Michael Luttig and Lawrence Tribe, are actually arguing in the Atlantic, of all places, the ultra-leftist woke Atlantic, that the Constitution bars Trump from running again. I kid you not, because he's an insurrectionist. And the 14th Amendment bars a person for running for the office of the presidency if they've been involved in an insurrection against the U.S. government. Again, I kid you not, this argument is actually growing in popularity among woke legal scholars. My namesake, Jonathan Turley, is calling it the 14th Amendment theory, and it's something of a bedtime story that the woke left reads to their children at night, and it goes something like this. Donald Trump can never be president again because the 14th Amendment bars those who previously took federal oaths from assuming office if they engaged in insurrection or rebellion. With that and a kiss on the forehead, a progressive child can sleep peacefully through the night. Now, despite Turley overlooking the fact that woke liberals don't have kids anymore, studies are showing that the woke left are going through a major fertility drought. They've been going through that one for a couple of decades now. But despite that, Turley is spot on here. He recognizes that this fable that liberals are increasingly telling themselves is actually an inadvertent admission. It's an admission that the indictments were absolute overreach, and ultimately they're not going to work. I talked about this in yesterday's video. We already have a Pennsylvania judge ruling that President Trump cannot be sued or indicted precisely because of the protection provided to him by presidential immunity. This goes all the way back to a Supreme Court case called Nixon versus Fitzgerald, and it's a decision that gives the president absolute immunity for all the actions done as president, even if those actions were unlawful. And so now it's starting to make the rounds more and more that these 4 cases against Trump may indeed end up all getting tossed out precisely because, even the Mar-a-Lago classified documents case, they all deal with actions Trump engaged in as president. So we'll have to see what happens in the appellate process, but many think these cases are going to get tossed out. Regardless, the very fact that the woke left are now recruiting these so-called legal scholars to push this 14th Amendment theory shows they're getting desperate. They recognize that Trump's popularity is surging even among independents. The latest polling shows that independents are now solidly behind Trump. They see Trump getting stronger and stronger and more popular with every indictment. And so now they want legal scholars to come in and try to convince the powers that be that Trump can't be on the ballot. But once again, it's all for naught. The Democrats are like Wile E. Coyote chasing after the Roadrunner and blowing themselves up in the process. You're going to absolutely love this. But first, gang, how many UFC fans do we have out there? We all know the one and only Donald Trump is a huge UFC fan, as are the fighters of him. But have you ever wondered what they do to manage their pain? Well, you don't have to, because a fellow patriot and good friend to this channel is precisely the one who provides relief to that pain, and he's here to do the same for you. We all know, gang, as we age, aches and pains are normal, but they don't have to be. And that's where the groundbreaking medical scientist Clint Winters comes in. You've seen Clint on Fox. You've seen him on this channel. He's a world-renowned health expert who's unveiled a natural pain reliever that's taking the world by storm. It's called CB2. It's the 100% drug-free way to get full-body pain relief without dangerous meds. And it's the official pain reliever for the fighters in the UFC. And the best news, CB2 has no documented side effects after years of private testing. It's absolutely the future of pain relief. So whatever whatever you do, make sure to click on the link below and check out Clint's amazingly informative report on how ConoCB2 is changing lives by providing safe and powerful relief at a fraction of the cost of pain pills. Click on that link below right now. So if you don't know, the 14th Amendment of the Constitution says the following: no person who has taken an oath as an officer of the United States can hold office if they have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the same, or given aid or comfort to the enemies thereof. The 14th Amendment was written after the very real and serious rebellion, namely the Civil War, and it bars former Confederates from holding office, as I understand it. What establishment hacks are trying to do here is they're trying to apply that amendment to what happened on J6. Now, the problem right away is the fundamental question of whether J6 was actually an insurrection. I know the woke media and the Democrats and Liz Cheney like to call it that, but these people don't even know what a woman is. So was J6 an insurrection? Was it a planned, deliberate attempt to overthrow the U.S. government? Not according to the FBI. A thorough investigation by the FBI concluded there simply was no insurrection on J6. They could find no evidence of a coordinated plot to overthrow the U.S. government. And that's exactly what the American people think as well. 76%, 3 in 4, believe that J6 was a protest that turned into a riot. It was a legitimate protest that went too far. The vast majority of the public does not buy the insurrectionist label pushed by the legacy media. Moreover, despite the fact that the legacy media has been pushing this term, it's noteworthy that when Special Counsel Jack Smith finally indicted Trump for J6, what did he leave out? He notably did not charge him with any crime such as insurrection. And the reason for that's obvious. The evidence and constitutional standards would not have supported a charge of incitement or insurrection. You'll notice, too, that there's no constitutionally regarded process for being considered an insurrectionist other than being actually criminally convicted of such. Alan Dershowitz, who, remember, is not a Trump supporter, he's not MAGA, but he's out there saying this whole 14th Amendment theory is absolutely patently absurd. You'll notice there's no procedure here. You just have these legal scholars making the claim that Trump can't run again because he's guilty of insurrection, and all they do is make the claim. They don't actually have any process by which Trump can be objectively found to be guilty of such. They just claim it, they name it and claim it, and that's it. Trump actually went through a process, a Senate trial, and was exonerated. He was acquitted of that charge. But the woke left is so desperate. They're just running around calling him an insurrectionist, and they think that's enough to bar him from the ballot. It's beyond bizarre. So obviously we'll see how all this plays out. But my bet is this 14th Amendment theory will go down as yet another example of just how desperate the Democrats have become. Are you ready to join the resistance? Because I'm leading a group of dedicated, courageous patriots who can lead a spearhead into the heart of the secular globalist establishment. We punished Bud Light and Target, driven CNN and the legacy media to near bankruptcy, forced BlackRock to backtrack on ESG, and now we're seeing our conservative-dominated Supreme Court ending affirmative action and protecting religious liberty. In my Insiders Club, I show you concrete steps to take locally and online that will only keep this mass uprising going until the battle is won. Don't wait. Click the link in my description below and join my Courageous Patriots Insiders Club today.